Hello, House Master Users here, and let's get started on this review. Now let me give you a little story. I was about maybe 3 or 4 years old, I think it was 4, when I was, just a kid, a little toddler looking for his next film. Probably, and he's with, I believe I was with my nan actually. And what I ended up finding and getting was none other than the Tigger movie. And this is not what we're going to be reviewing. But, so I open up, we watch the Tigger movie, we open it up, and what we get are beginning of the film, the DVD, we get a couple of opening previews. This is the one the earliest I can think of when this happens. And, when I see stuff that intrigue me, but what we're going to get, there is one that I remember the most of those trailers. And it wasn't showing the trailers for like Tarzan and Toy Story 2, which I had seen by a point. Or, was going to see it very shortly. But no, it was the 4th trailer in the film. What was it? Well, it was this.
Disney created one of the best-loved films of all time. And now, the adventure continues.
Yep, that is right. Today, we are reviewing Lady and the Tramp 2 Scamp's Adventure. Now, so yeah, I saw the trailer, and, well, kind of got me hyped. And, I'm just going to say this, well, most people will probably view this trailer and accept it with the American announcer, like you usually get with, most stuff. This DVD was had the European trailer guy. I forget his name, but I always think of this trailer with the European voice, It's just the way I first heard it, So yeah, I got excited to watch this, and one day when we were browsing at the local video rental store back when they were still around, we found this, and you know what? We borrowed the video and we decided to watch it. I remember the scenes from the trailer, I do, but don't know much of it. I remember maybe a bit of the ending. That's about it. Not much more. It's just eye candy. However, later on, I would probably deem this as the worst of Disney's sequels. I wouldn't call it the absolute worst, because I also saw Beauty and the Beast, Belle's Magical. The Christmas one. That was when I was a kid. That was when I was in primary school. But yeah, I often call this the worst of Disney sequels. Straight to here, that is. But looking back on, however, as I've grown older and I've gone wiser, well, as you can see, if I did hate it, why would I get the VHS tape? Well, bargain buy it was for free, so all fun by me. I will admit it's not as bad as what I think it is, as I thought it was. I think it especially changed after I watched Doug Walker's Disney Sembu video of this, but but why don't we go over the story? So this story focuses on, well, as you can see, Scamp, the youngest child of Lady and Tramp from the first movie. Yeah, so we are actually moving on. And he is played by Scott Wolf, whose voice as a little kid is very mixed. Yeah, I think we can all agree it's very awkward. He is much like his father, but his father doesn't want to be like him. So yeah, we get the jerkish parent subplot you get in a lot of Disney sequels. Honestly, it isn't as bad because we were introduced to the Scamp in the first movie, even though we didn't get a name, much like Kiara. And was introduced in the original Lion King before we got her name since Pride, so yeah. So, one day after getting After getting in trouble with his owners, Scamp runs away and joins a bunch of junkyard dogs who his father used to be part of. To help him be integrated into part of this group, to show him around, he's put together with another puppy named Angel, played by Alyssa Milano. And, well, eventually Scamp becomes part of the junkyard dog and finally relishes in his freedom as his owners and his family are trying to look for him, as well as some of their friends. And eventually it must come down to whether he wants to live forever as a junkyard dog or live as a pet with and be with his family. So, what does work in this? Well, give credit where credit is due. The story is not a rehash like some of the other Disney sequels. Now, I said that I barely remembered anything from the first movie, and yet again, I still do. But I can't really call it, awful by these standards. I will give credit, as I said, I'm giving credit where credit is due. I appreciate it. It's actually a bit more original. However, there are problems with it, and we'll get to that. Well, I am saying that Scott Wolf's performance isn't that good. Alyssa Milano actually does a pretty good job in this. I think she did a really good job, and, I mean, yeah, I probably would like her to be in a better Disney film, but you know what? She did real well for what she got in, she delivered a very, very solid performance. The central conflict for Scamp is actually a really good one. You know what? I think that's a really good conflict. In a way, it sort of reminds me a bit of Woody's conflict in Toy Story 2. What you have to decide what is the right thing and what's the right thing to do for yourself and your loved ones. What's the right thing? What's the What's the selfish thing? What's the unselfish thing? Each path has its elements, but you have to make a decision. And the trailer, give credit where credit's due, highlight that fact of the story. So all good. In fact, I will admit the trailer, I'm biased to it. I actually don't mind it. It's pretty good. As I said, I'm more associated with the European version because I heard that one first. But okay, it's the same version, but just the European talker, But what doesn't work? And let's just say, like most Disney sequels, you get a lot of problems. Let's start off with the first one. Well, I said the story's not a rehash. It borrows a lot anyway from the first movie, especially scene by scene. I mean, you've got to have the spaghetti scene at the Italian restaurant. You've got to have a scene at the pound. You've got to have you've got to have the Siamese cats appear, even though they don't sing this time. So, yeah, there are various moments that resemble many scenes from the original film, which are timeless. As I said, I'm not a big fan of the jerkish parent syndrome, but it's all only one parent, because it's just Tramp who is being jerked to Scamp, and it's not the worst. I mean, there's no real proper full-on arguments, but maybe one. It's not like, Simba and Kiara and, Ariel and Melody, it's not as bad. As I've already gone over Scott Wolf, the songs and music in this are really, I can barely remember. I can remember some melodies and a bit of the lines, but nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, at least I can remember a bit more from other Disney sequels. And then there's the animation. I mean, it's not as bad as say Return of Jafar or the Beauty and the Beast films or Pocahontas 2 or Hunchback of Notre Dame 2. But it is very subpar. I mean, the 2D stuff they do well, but the CGI, I don't know. It just looks really bad, especially when Scamp's in the van for dog catchers thing. Yeah, that does not look good. There are other scenes too. So yeah, it's mostly integration of CGI. So yeah. But overall, I gotta give credit where credit's due. This isn't as bad as what I thought it was. I mean, yeah, it's not good, and I don't ever think I will watch it fully. And I have it in my collection, you know, because it's VHS tape. Why not? But there are worse Disney sequels out there. I know a few, but I will admit this. This has actually gone a lot better, more so than the Beauty and the Beast Christmas film. Yeah, I still don't like that, even with Tim Curry as the organ. But overall, if you want to give it a shot, it's harmless. But if you want to watch a good Disney sequel, you watch the Lion King stuff. As I've already reviewed, Buzz Lightyear, Star Command, and Pooh's Grand Adventures Search for Christopher Robin, which are much better films than this. I'll throw in Aladdin 3 and Bambi 2. They're also really good. So overall, I'm going to give us a 4.5 out of 10 has stars. I was going to say 4 out of 5. And I'll be really putting this high. It's not the worst, but you can do better. So, what is next? I will admit I'm not done with Disney sequels yet. I'm being honest with that fact. I think I've got a bit more left to finish. Alright, so I've probably got to... Since I reviewed this, I might as well do Little Mermaid 2, honestly. But I'm not sure if that'll be my next review. There is something else I want to review. Something better. Actually, it might be two. So, one made-for-TV movie, one video game. I'm just going to say the video game's going to be the Mario Golf Suit. Mario Golf Speed Rush, I think it is. Or the latest Mario Golf game. But in the meantime, I have some reviews out, and you know what? I'm just going to finish off with showing the ending part of the trailer. So, ciao. See you next time.
It's a brand new film that will capture your heart and imagination forever. Walt Disney Pictures proudly presents Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp's Adventure. Exclusively on video and Disney DVD.